Hello, darlings. I invite you to settle in and open your heart, because today, I want to share a story that's as much about discovery as it is about wonder. Today, I want to share a journey that captured my heart, a quest for the Mexico beyond postcards and pyramids. It's a Mexico that lives in the spaces between the well-known, in the quiet stretches of countryside, and the gentle rhythm of daily life. I yearned for the quiet corners, the secret places where the true soul of this country lives. I wanted to slip away from the crowds and find the Mexico that locals know, the one that whispers its stories to those who listen closely. It wasn't about famous sights, but about feeling, listening, and letting the journey change me. I wanted to be present, to let the colors, sounds, and scents of Mexico seep into my bones. So, I packed my bags, ready to follow that whisper for something real. I left behind expectations and set out with only curiosity as my guide. My only plan was to have no plan. Just let the road and chance encounters guide me. Each day was a blank page, waiting to be filled with whatever the universe had in store. Surrendering to the unknown felt daunting, but it opened me to magic and possibility. There's a special kind of freedom in not knowing what comes next, in trusting that the journey itself will reveal its gifts. I wanted to find beauty in cobblestone streets, laughter over a simple meal, and wisdom in an elder's eyes. These are the moments that linger, the ones that shape us long after we return home. These are the souvenirs we carry in our hearts forever, not trinkets or photos, but memories and connections that become part of who we are. I set out to find the real rhythm of Mexico, the heartbeat of its people and culture. I wanted to listen to the music of daily life, to feel the pulse of tradition and celebration. My hope was to return not just with photos, but with a deeper understanding and wonder for our world. I wanted to be changed by the journey, to see with new eyes. This was not a quest for grand monuments, but for small, precious moments, the kind that remind us of our shared humanity and the beauty in everyday life. I imagined dusty roads, villages painted in colors I'd never seen, and stories woven into the land. Each place held its own magic waiting to be discovered. The journey was an invitation to step off the map and trust my instincts, to wander, to get lost, and to find myself in the process. I was ready to be surprised and delighted by whatever Mexico had in store. Every encounter, every smile, every unexpected turn became a treasure, and so my adventure began, seeking the unseen, the authentic, the unforgettable. With every step, I felt the world grow larger and more mysterious. Let me take you with me, beyond the horizon. Together, let's discover the Mexico that lives in the spaces between, and perhaps find a little more of ourselves along the way. My first real detour led me to Hierve el Agua, the water boils, nestled high in the mountains of Oaxaca, a place that feels both ancient and alive. After hours on winding roads, I finally arrived at two petrified waterfalls, their stone cascades frozen in time, as if nature pressed pause on a moment thousands of years ago. Mineral-rich springs at the cliff's edge have, over centuries, created natural infinity pools. Their waters are cool, clear, and tinged with turquoise, inviting travelers to pause and soak in the view. The view stretched for miles across a lush green valley, dotted with cacti and framed by distant mountains under an endless cloud-dappled sky. The only sounds were the gentle wind and the bubbling of mineral springs, a place of profound peace where time seems to slow down. There were no hotels, no crowds, just a handful of local families selling home-cooked snacks, their laughter echoing softly in the open air. The atmosphere was one of quiet reverence for nature's artistry, as visitors moved gently, almost whispering in awe of the landscape. I sat on the edge, watched clouds drift lazily by, and felt the world's weight lift from my shoulders, replaced by a sense of wonder. As the sun dipped lower, the stone waterfalls glowed gold in the late afternoon light, a fleeting moment of pure magic that felt almost sacred. Hierve el Agua's raw, untouched beauty was humbling, a reminder of nature's quiet strength and resilience. It reminded me that the most beautiful places are often those left to their own devices, unspoiled and wild. I left with deep gratitude, having witnessed a secret whispered by the earth itself, a memory etched into my journey. This experience set the tone for my journey, seeking out places where nature's quiet power is felt and where the land tells its own story. Sometimes the world's greatest wonders are found in silence and simplicity, far from the noise of modern life, and that's where the real magic lies, waiting quietly for those willing to listen. Next, I ventured to Izamal, the yellow city of the Yucatan Peninsula. Every building glowed in vibrant golden yellow, a tradition begun for a papal visit and lovingly kept alive. Walking the cobblestone streets felt like stepping into a sunlit dream. The town's Franciscan monastery, built atop a Mayan pyramid, embodied Mexico's layered history. The people moved with gentle warmth and pride, their spirits as bright as their city. I met a local artist who said living in Izamal was like living inside a piece of sunshine. The shared color united the community, creating a unique, joyful identity. It showed me how a simple, collective act can transform a place. The power of color and shared vision was everywhere. Leaving Izamal, I carried that sunshine with me, a reminder of joy and simplicity. Sometimes a single color can tell a whole town's story. And in Izamal, that story is pure gold. Deep in the Sierra Madre Mountains, I found a tiny whitewashed chapel filled with thousands of colorful ribbons. Each ribbon was a prayer or wish, left by visitors seeking healing, gratitude, or hope. Sunlight streamed through a small window, making the ribbons shimmer, a silent waterfall of human emotion. Alone in that sacred space, I felt the weight and beauty of countless hopes. It was a powerful reminder of our universal need to reach for something greater. Before leaving, I tied my own ribbon, adding my wish to the tapestry. Stepping back into the sunlight, I felt a deep peace. That chapel showed me how our deepest feelings connect us all, across any distance. Sometimes the smallest places hold the greatest meaning. In that moment of stillness, I found a sense of belonging to something larger, and I carried that connection with me. In a small market town, I struggled to buy fruit, my Spanish faltering. The stallholder and I were lost in translation, until a young girl stepped in, translating with a shy smile. Her grandmother's face lit up, and laughter replaced confusion. After I paid, the grandmother pressed a perfect gardenia into my hand, a wordless welcome. That simple gesture meant more than any souvenir. It taught me that kindness and connection transcend language. Communication is about intention, not just words. A child's help and a stranger's smile turned a barrier into a bridge. I carried that gardenia all day. It sent a reminder of unexpected warmth. These moments reveal the true character of a place. Travel's greatest gift is the kindness of strangers, and sometimes a smile is all it takes to feel at home. To understand a place, you must taste it. The flavors, the textures, and the aromas all tell a story that words alone cannot capture. In Oaxaca, I learned to make mole with Elena, a matriarch whose kitchen was filled with tradition. Her hands moved with the grace of years of practice, each motion a testament to her heritage. Mole wasn't just a sauce, it was a ritual, a story passed down through generations. Each ingredient had its own tale, each step its own significance. We toasted, ground, and blended over 20 ingredients, each adding depth and history. The process was meticulous, almost meditative, the air filled with smoky, sweet, and spicy aromas, as Elena shared family stories. Each tale was as rich and layered as the mole itself. Making mole was hard work, but it was love made visible. Every stir, every grind was a labor of love, a connection to those who came before. When we finally ate, the flavors told a tale of patience and heritage. Each bite was a journey through time, a celebration of culture. Food is more than fuel. It's culture, memory, and connection. It brings people together, creating bonds that transcend language and borders. Now, every time I see mole, I remember Elena's kitchen and the stories behind each bite. It's a reminder of the warmth and wisdom shared in that rustic kitchen. This experience taught me to ask about the story behind every dish. There's always a deeper meaning, a piece of history waiting to be discovered. There's always a delicious piece of culture waiting to be shared. Each meal is an opportunity to connect, to learn, and to appreciate. In food, we find the heart of a place. It's where traditions are preserved and new memories are made. And in sharing a meal, we share a piece of ourselves. It's a universal language of love and community. In Chiapas, I met Mateo, a coffee farmer whose family had tended the same land for generations. His shade-grown coffee farm thrived under a living forest canopy, birds and insects working in harmony. Mateo showed me how caring for the land creates a self-sustaining system. No chemicals, just nature's balance. The health of his coffee was tied to the health of the forest. His respect for nature was a way of life, not just a philosophy. Mateo believed, care for the land and it will care for you. Sipping his homegrown coffee, I felt deep admiration for his stewardship. This experience reminded me how disconnected we often are from our food's origins. Mateo's wisdom inspired me to be more mindful of my own impact. Living in balance with nature is both ancient and essential, and sometimes the land itself is the greatest teacher. Travel off the beaten path doesn't just show you the world, it reveals yourself. As I explored Mexico's hidden places, I felt old worries fade, replaced by patience and presence. Quiet moments, sunsets, village mornings, sunlit plazas, gave me space to reflect. I learned the joy of simply being, of observing without rushing. Meeting people rich in community and tradition made me question my own idea of a good life. Happiness, I realized, is about connection and appreciation, not possessions. This journey stripped away the non-essential, reminding me what truly matters. The most valuable souvenir was a new perspective, on life, on others, on myself. The hidden gems weren't just places, but moments of insight and connection. Travel became an inner exploration as much as an outer one, and I returned home changed, with a deeper sense of wonder. As my time in Mexico ended, my heart was full of gratitude. I discovered that a country's true treasures are its quiet landscapes and the warmth of its people. The best adventures often lie just beyond the familiar. I share this story to encourage you. Seek your own journey off the beaten path. It doesn't have to be far. Explore a new town, a local forest, or meet a neighbor. Discovery is everywhere if we open our hearts. There's magic in getting a little lost, in surrendering to the unknown. These experiences become the stories and memories that shape us. So take that first step. Try something new, say hello, taste the unfamiliar, embrace the unpredictable dance of discovery. If you'd like to share in more adventures, join me on this journey. Your support means the world and keeps these stories alive. Let's explore this incredible planet together. Thank you for listening.